So happy you could join me. This is Isaiah from the Inner Health Foundation. I want to speak to you about a model of personal transformation that I utilize and that I see a lot of people who I look up to and who I model myself after and consider mentors, whether they be in person or virtual, applying. So one thing I see with the mentors and people in my life, and the ones that, whether they be in person or virtual, the ones that I really look to for my own inspiration and my growth and ideas and helping fuel me in my process. I think it's really essential that we continue to utilize each other. Everyone has different assets and has invested their time and energy into different things, and therefore we need to be utilizing each other for our own personal growth and development. Why recreate the wheel when someone's already done 25 years of certain level of embodiment or psychological understanding? You know, let's start there and do our best to take in and assimilate the information, the techniques, the ideas, and the way that they are showing us. They're really the way showers for us. They're the people that help educate us just through being in their presence. The models that these mentors of mine utilize seem to include certain aspects. There's certain qualities to their process that seem really common. So I thought I would share that with you and see if you can apply it in your life and in your process of growth and development. There's a pyramid, and the pyramid will be 4 layers. So the very base layer is theory, concept, right? To understand, and you can plug anything into this. So we'll go through it. Theory or concept is the first level. The second level is strategy or habits. The third is transformation. And the top would be transcendence. So in those 4 levels, 4 layers of personal growth and development, or development of anything really in our lives, if we can understand those 4 and clearly lay them out and plug in an activity or a process or an achievement, something that we would like to attain or feel or experience into this model, then we're that much closer to feeling it, having it, and being it. So, number 1, again, theory or concept. We need to be clear about what it is we're doing, what it is we're trying to achieve, what it is we want to feel, what the influence is we'd like to be offering to the world. Whatever it is, we have to understand it first. Let's plug in personal success into this model as I go, so that you can understand relative to what I'm thinking, and then you can plug in whatever it is you want into this model. Whether it's personal success in this example, or a growth or development of a business or a relationship, or your own spiritual development and mastery, or your own development in a process of any kind in your life, you can utilize this simple model. Okay, so again, concept and theory relative to personal success. Let's say, for example, the idea of being successful personally for me would require that I get out of my own way, right? I get clear about what my ideals are, what I want in life, what I intend, what my limiting belief patterns are would be necessary, because the majority of the reason why we are not successful is because we have self-limiting beliefs consciously and mostly subconsciously that's blocking us from being open to achieving and feeling and creating something for ourselves. And if we're not clear, for example, about the unconscious reasonings why, the unconscious messages or thought patterns that we have about ourselves, the self-limiting ones, then when someone criticizes us or puts a block or an obstacle in our way, then we might just quit or walk away or shy away from what it is that we want or we intend to do, right? Okay? Once we've understood the concept and the theory of personal success, and a lot of the tools or the mental constructs and the mental processes around achieving success, once we have that knowledge, then we can move into the next stage, which is all about forming habits, actions, and tactics and strategies right? That allow us to take that concept and make it real. Once we start applying through action the strategies and habits that creates personal success, then we move into this next stage, and it starts to become really real for us. Because in order to be successful, we really have to feel it. In order to move into the third stage of transformation, we have to feel it. And that requires action and embodiment and work. So in the context of personal success, the second level for me might look like habits and strategies that allow me to be personally successful. So maybe it's waking up in the morning, starting with a big glass of water, right? Hydrate, wake up my body, turn on my mind, my brain is alive again and hydrated and clear and fluid. Then maybe I meditate. I start a stretching or a strengthening process, or both. Start to move my body, get everything that's been stagnant starting to flow again. Then I do a breathing exercise along with that. So I'm tapping in and tuning my body in, creating a physiological state in which I'm primed and ready and connected with myself. Through those practices, I have an opportunity to really achieve success in that moment, right? Which is the action that's going to be necessary. I need to carry out that consistent action over and over and over through repetition of creating success in the moment, in my body, and in my physiology, in my mind, and my spirit, in order for a larger success to be achieved. After applying the habits and the strategies and the techniques that I need, and being in a mode of action around my concept of personal success, I move into the third stage of transformation. So all those repetitions and that work that I've been doing becomes a gateway into the third phase of transformation. I start to move from something that's conceptual into an embodiment, a place of transformation where the energy of my body starts to transform and alter itself, and the contents and the identities and the shaping, the perception of my mind starts to shift as well. So I go through a process of physical and mental transformation relative to the repetitions, the activities, and the setup. So I've orchestrated and set up the opportunity for me to go through a physical and mental transformation, and then start to enjoy the process of being in that transformative energy, which is one of my favorite highs in life. And really, it's as important to me as anything, is to be personally involved in my own transformation and encouraging, coaching, and helping catalyze transformation for other people. Being in this third phase of transformation is so crucial. It's such an important and exciting thing, because it's a place where we get to access the flow state and high state, to be in an exchange of energy within the body and the mind that is extremely refined and is somewhere in the realm of mastery. We're in the process of mastery because we've aligned everything else in our concepts and our practices that allow us to be in a flow. And that is the way to achieve, feel, and be a master of something. Now, there is no end point to mastery. It's a process, but when you dedicate yourself fully to a process, then you are in a process of mastery. And once you've consistently engaged in the transformative process, this third stage, and that becomes your normal go-to reality, because you've set up the conditions in your mind, you've set up the conditions in your habits and your strategies and practices that allow you to be in this flow state, this transformative state of body and mind, then you can really start to play with that. You can really start to be creative and to achieve some level of mastery within that. And then through the process of mastering those three stages in any given activity, in this case we're talking about personal success, then we move into the fourth stage, the top of the pyramid, which is transcendence. And we move out of the body and mind and more into the soul and into the spirit. And this is a place where we start to access a healthy disidentification. We start to disidentify from the body and the process and the mechanics of all those other things, and start to really be in a high energetic connection where universal energy and universal information and universal connections are made and birthed and expressed through us. We become a catalyst and a conduit for higher messages and higher information and higher energetics. And we become a lightning rod for our personal growth and success. We become an embodiment of all the things that we've worked on before. We become an embodiment of those things. Once we become an embodiment through the transformative process of something, then we can be a conduit. We can be a catalyst and a conduit and a lightning rod of pure divine energy. Whatever the focus is that we've been cultivating all that time will become a high manifestation of that energetic. And we'll be able to flow ideas and information and energy through us that is bigger, that is larger in scope and context and physicality, and more. There's more potential energy available to us than we could ever achieve through our own personal process. In this fourth stage of transcendence, it's really a conversation of oneness. It's a conversation of returning to the ultimate connection of who we really are with all that is. And in that, again, we become a catalyst and a conduit of energy that's much larger than us. And we can potentially meet and achieve goals and create influence and help the world in ways that we never could personally. It becomes much bigger than us. And I think that this process of developing and working through these stages allows us to move into that place where we can ultimately serve the world and serve people in our lives to a much higher degree, because we're tapped into divine universal energy and no longer filtering and being limited by our personal story, our beliefs, our pains, and our conditioning. In that process, also, I'll say, when you're in transformation, the key is to focus on compassion. So once we've lined everything up and we've created an opportunity to be in a transformative flow state process, we can access and share compassion. And that is a bridge from the transformative into the transcendent. The more compassionate we are, the more we can move on up into that transcendent place that's no longer identified. And then from a place of seeing the validity of everything, we can start to really offer extremely high quality energy and value to the people in our lives and to the people of the world. I know it's lofty sometimes, I guess, the way I approach it, but this is how I think, this is how I feel. This is what I want to attain and experience in my life, and this is what I want to share. This is how I want to be shared with. This is what I want to gain access to in my life, in the mission and story of my life. I want to be involved in transcendent energy and transcendent connections and transcendent organizations and transcendent people, because that's what feeds my soul. That's what feeds my spirit. My spiritual connection is the food that I really need. The more I balance my physiology and my brain, the more I balance my emotions, the more I realize the only nutrition I need is spiritual nutrition. You know, I still eat food, but I'll say that I become less and less dependent. My balance and my strength and awareness becomes less and less dependent upon physical nutrition and more based on this energetic nutrition. And I'm here to share and experience and consume that spiritual nutrition. And I want to encourage you all to move up the ladder to a place where you also can enjoy the benefits of spiritual nutrition. Let me know, please. I'd love to know what's occurring for you in your life, in your process. And if you don't share with me personally, share it with your community and your friends and your family. All right. Much love to you. Blessings on your path of transcendence and transformation. Peace.